How you guys doing tonight? Mar Bird here. Just actually getting in from a wedding that I went to today. Turned out to be a really good event. Definitely probably was a great event, and the friend of mine's wife who got married, making the transition from a single man to a married man now. Very close personal friend of mine. I actually feel as if he's a brother to me. He's my son's uncle. And there's a lot of different things going through my head today. Actually, 2 years ago, probably February 2009, it's March now, but around February in 2009, there was an incident that basically changed a lot of things in my life. And I'll actually get into that a little bit more later. But one of the things that I wanted to do, that tonight inspired me to do, is I had actually created a video series 2 years ago. And it was basically a day in my life. Day in my life as a truck driver. And wanted to actually show people what I went through driving truck. Some of the reasons why I wanted to stop driving truck and take control of my personal life through a home-based business. And it was real personal to me. And I was in the process of actually putting this thing together 2 years ago, and something really drastic happened. 2 years ago, my son's mother, Marisol LeBron, was killed, murdered actually. And it was life-changing for most of us around her who knew her and loved her. But it was one of the hardest things that happened to me in my life. Not only because it was someone that I knew and loved that got killed, but because as a father, I get this phone call at, I guess, about 2:15 in the afternoon. I'm home because I had just recently pretty much stopped working. So I get this phone call from her family, her cousin actually, one of my good friends actually, and my business partner in my home-based business and my venture. She calls me and she tells me, Marisol's been shot. She's at the hospital. Things don't look too good. And they don't know which way this is going to go. Now, mind you, at the time that this phone call took place, she already knows that Marisol's dead. She got killed about 11 o'clock in the morning on a Friday. And they were trying to break the news to me kind of easily. Now, mind you, I'm married. I'm married, have a new wife. At the time, I had a new son who's was a year old. And they're trying to break it to me gently, basically. So I guess, threw them off when I told them, well, Omar's coming home from school. Me and him are going to hop in the car. We're on our way down there. As soon as he gets home to be there in the event of this emergency. So they're telling me, well, don't really come. We don't really want you to come down. We're going to keep you posted. Things don't look too good. And I immediately sensed that they were lying to me, that she was already dead. And they're trying to break it to me gently. Now, I'm one of those people, being from the Philadelphia area, growing up outside of Philadelphia and living in Philadelphia for years in various different parts of the city. The mindset of us in Philadelphia is, give me the reality. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't add a bunch of hype and a bunch of rah-rah to it. Just give me the bare bone basics. I need the facts. But basically I told them, what's going on? Tell me the truth. She's dead already, isn't she? And they basically broke down and said, yeah, she's gone. So I told them I would still come down. Still come down to be with the family. And now I'm sitting here and I'm dealing with one of the hardest things I've ever dealt with in my life. Because now, coming home from school is my 13-year-old son, who's going to come in the house about 2:45. I got this information around 2:15, about 2:30 when I got off the phone with them. So I had 15 minutes to get my mind in a place where I'm calm and I'm cool, and I got to figure out how I'm going to relay this information to my son, that his mother's dead, that he'll never see her again. She's gone. And it was one of the hardest things I ever did in my life, still to this day, with a lot of the things that I've been through, and I've been through a lot. It was the hardest thing that I ever had to do, was to explain to my son, your mom is dead. But we got through that process. But what happened was, in the midst of all this happening, this Day in the Life series that I had put together, I basically got put on the back burner. We know that family comes first in any situation. So this got put on the back burner. Today was her brother's wedding, and he decided to get married on his sister's birthday. So it was kind of a dual celebration. Celebration of his marriage, celebration of her birthday, in memoriam of her. And I said, you know what? It's been 2 years since I had this on the back burner. Let me get this done now. And I didn't mean to have that big of an intro. I just wanted to explain some of the background to you guys, because for me, that was a shift in my life. You know, we got a timeline that we have, and there's various things that happen in periods of our lives that may shift our thinking, shift our track, shift the roads that we take. I just saw a movie recently called The Adjustment Bureau. I don't know if you saw it or not, but if you saw it, you can understand what I'm talking about. This event happened. It shifted my thinking, because now I'm thinking, how easily could something happen to me and my son be left with a lot of family? Not to say he'd be left with no one, but both of his parents gone at a young age. What have I put in place to put him in a better place, where all he's worried about is dealing with the loss versus dealing with where I'm going to stay? What am I going to do for going to college? What am I going to do for a lot of things? So it changed my whole direction. I basically was a grown man who had to grow up a little bit more, take control of my future, take control of my life, to be able to give him a better life in the peripheral, if you can understand what I'm saying. But with that long intro, I'm sorry, I wanted to get into this, a day in the life. And it's basically a day in the life of a truck driver. I was driving truck at that time for a company, which will all be explained in the videos. And just a little glimpse of what I went through, what my goals were. This video series was actually created before that incident, but I had already had some goals set and in place in my mind. And I just wanted to show you where my mindset was 2 years ago. And you may relate to it in some ways. So without further ado, I'm going to get into video 1. And I thank you guys for your time. And I hope that you get something out of it. All right. Have a blessed day.